Look at all this broken wood. I wonder what I've been doing. Digging around in something? I wonder what I could be updating you guys on today.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. If you're new here, thanks for checking out the video. My name is Jeremy and this is Jeremy's World. Now, this one for today's title. Today's video is going to be all about the Homoderus Gladiator pair that I purchased at the Southeastern Arachne Show. Now, more specifically, today's video is going to be in two parts. The first one is checking the breeding box to see if the pairing was successful or not. And the second part of today's video is going to be how I like to set up my beetle larvae. So that's pretty much really self-explanatory. I'm going to be digging around inside the breeding box to see if the pairing was successful. Now, you will see that in just momentarily. And as well as, I like to set up my beetle grubs a little differently than others. Just for me personally, on how I like to set them up. It may be different for everyone else, but personally for me, this is how I like to do it. And I thought I'd show you guys because I had some success raising grubs from L1s to adulthood for successful pupation and everything via this method. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. And yeah, so before I get into today's video, I just want to quickly say that according to my YouTube statistics, a lot of you guys who watch my videos aren't subscribed. So if you enjoyed today's video and you want to see more, click the subscribe button as well as the notification bell down below so you guys don't miss out on future content. Now, without enough further chit chat, let's jump straight into the video by checking the breeding box.
I won't keep you guys too long. In short, as you can see here by the larvae that are wiggling around, the breeding of Homoderus Gladiator was a great success. As you can see right here, guys, I've got 7 larvae and all of different stages. You can see this one and this one must have just hatched recently, but the other ones are fairly big with, I believe it's either this one or this one being the largest of the group. But yeah, I'm really happy with this result. If I'm completely honest with you guys, I was not expecting the breeding of Homoderus Gladiator to be successful, simply because the parents of these guys died fairly early. The male died literally after a week or two of having him in the collection, and the female followed suit just a couple weeks after. But obviously the smaller stags don't live as long as larger stag beetle species, but I just didn't think that the female laid any eggs, and of course I was wrong. So here they are. You can see this one is a larger L3, if not a late stage L2, and here is a young L1, and you can see there's another one there, and then a few more over here. I believe this one, these guys here, the large ones are L3s, and this is an L2. So it's quite nice to see the different sizes of the Homoderus. It's quite a good example. You can see the different stages. It would be nice if I had an egg, but you guys know what an egg looks like. Small little thing that they drop in the wood. The females will bore into the wood pieces and they will lay the eggs inside. Then they hatch into an L1, molt L2, then L3, then they'll pupate. I probably will sell some of these guys, but I might just keep them all, to be honest. See if I can get some pairs and give breeding them a go again. Because I actually enjoy Homoderus. They're really pretty, and definitely would like to work with them again. So let's get into the second part of today's video, guys, showing you how I set up my beetle grubs. So how exciting was that? I actually managed to find some stag beetle larvae in my breeding box. Now, you're probably thinking, Jeremy, you should have expected that. You saw the pairing and everything. But, of course, as I said earlier, I was not expecting any eggs to be laid because although they did pair, the male and female did die fairly early, with the male literally dying like a week after the pairing, and the female not really burying herself too often. She was staying really close to the surface. Whether she was doing it at nighttime and then resurfacing during the day, I don't know. But anyways, I was not expecting to find any larvae in here at all, and with the addition of mold growing within the substrate, I was just thinking no success. It's really disappointing, but really exciting when I cracked open that breeding log and I found a stag beetle inside. Now, that was the one thing I wanted to do with this update episode or video, showing you guys me digging through the breeding box and showing you that stag beetles really do utilize breeding logs. Now, of course, I will do that next time. I definitely should have done it whilst recording, but I wasn't really thinking that any success happened at all. But I did manage to save a piece of wood to show you guys like what the larvae do. So when they hatch inside the log, you can see here, guys, they actually tunnel out and they make themselves a little chamber just like this, and they start eating the wood and everything. Yeah, so that's pretty much what these larvae were. This was one of the L3 chambers, and obviously as they grow they make the chamber bigger and bigger, so by the time they're ready to pupate, they have the perfect sized chamber for them to pupate in, and the pupa will stay safe inside the log. Now we're going to move on to the second part of today's video, which is basically showing you guys how I like to set up my larvae. There are many ways that you guys can do this. Of course, with larger species you can use deeper tubs, but with most of the species I bred at the moment, they are smaller, so I don't want to be using too big of tubs, simply because there's not really any need to do so. It's just more substrate that I need to put into the tubs. But yeah, so what I'm going to do with these Homoderus Gladiator is going to be housing them separately. Now, some people like to keep their larvae together, but for me personally, just to avoid cannibalism, because it can happen, you did see in the log that each larvae in the breeding logs do have their own little chamber, but they can come across each other and they can eat each other, especially once they're separated out the breeding log and you put them all in together. Unlike fruit beetle larvae that can live together with like your smaller fruit beetle larvae or flower beetles even, stag beetles do like their protein, so they can take the opportunity to eat each other, seeing how some are larger than others. I just don't want to risk it, and I'll keep them separate. So one tub that I do like to use, which I'm pretty sure everyone knows, are feeder tubs. So like you can see just like here, perfect tubs for beetle grubs, simply because it's got a nice depth but it's not too deep, and it's got the perfect ventilation on the sides, just to ensure that there's no stagnant air building in there and everything. But I'm not going to be using one today, just because these are a smaller beetle species. You saw the parents were absolutely tiny, like literally the size of my thumb. I'm going to be using these tubs instead. So if you guys remember my isopod mystery box, I got these tubs that I saved just here, got 2 of them here at the moment. I do have some more similar sized tubs, but I'm just going to be showing you one of these right now, and setting this up. So you can see that it's perfect. It's already got ventilation holes. What I'll probably do later on is like poke some holes on the side here just to ensure cross ventilation. But yeah, so I'm just going to tilt the camera down just a little bit so you can get a better look. And basically what you want to do, guys, is fill it up with substrate. Now what substrate I'm going to be using is the flake soil I used within the breeding tub for these guys. And what I'm going to do is just compact it nice and tight. The reason for doing this is because when having them in the little breeding tubs, or like these little rearing tubs more like, it's better off just to keep the substrate really compact, just to mimic them being underground, just so they feel nice and secure. And obviously whilst they build their chambers, eating around the substrate and everything, they won't have the substrate constantly collapsing on them and everything. So once you get about half of the tub, or with the deeper tub you want to get like maybe a quarter of it there, what I like to do is add some protein. So what protein I'm going to be using today is the larva protein booster from the spider shop. Big shout out to the spider shop. This stuff is fantastic. I've been using it for my larvae and I've been getting some really nice beetles from them. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you would know that I had some Lamprema emerge, and I had a really nice major male emerge from that, and it was fantastic. And the reason why he was a major from a minor pair is because I added some protein. So this is just Gamara shrimp, dried Gamara shrimp. There are other different types of proteins you can use as well. You can use dog biscuits with high protein in it. You can also use mealworms, and koi pellets is a popular one that people like to use with beetles. But I'm going to be using Gamara shrimp today. Now, there are other ways that you can do it, like mix it within the substrate. But what I like to do is just have like a thin layer of the Gamara shrimp just there, and then what I'll do, I'll top up some more wood and then the more flake soil on top, and then we'll place a larvae in. Speaking of wood, I'm just going to be using some of the breeding log substrate in here just so they have something else to chew on, although the flake soil is pretty much just fermented wood flakes. Of course you want to put some of the original stuff in there as well, like so. There we go, just a little bit, some soft, some hard. You can see like the different layers in there. It's just a thin layer of the Gamara shrimp for protein, flake soil, and the breeding log wood. And then again, once you put that inside, you just want to compact it up all the way to the top pretty much, because these larvae won't be surfacing at all, and once they pupate they'll stay underground, and when they emerge, obviously you will be taking them out and putting them into a shallower tub until you're ready to breed them. So this is pretty much the end result. What you want, guys, is nicely compact, and you can see the different layers there. As you can see, you see the bottom layer that's compact, then you see the little layer of Gamara shrimp, and then some extra flake soil on top, of course there being some wood inside there also. And that's pretty much that. So I will be putting the larger larvae in here just so they're ready to pupate as well. As you can see, I'll get this one here, just pop on my hand. As you can see, it is a fairly good size already. This one must have hatched quite some time ago, probably like maybe early March, because at the time I'm recording this it is April. So now what you want to do, just put a little hole, pop the larvae inside, and then pat it in. Of course, if they were all similar size, I could just put a bunch of the larvae in here, and then as they grow separate them, but because I do have various sizes, I want to separate them now just to avoid the hassle later on and reduce the risk of them cannibalizing each other. What's left, just pop the lid on, And that's pretty much it. You don't need to feed these guys because all they'll eat is the Gamara shrimp and the substrate, and pretty much that's it. Just leave them to it. Obviously, every now and then, if the substrate does start to dry out, spray a little bit so it stays humid. And yeah, that's pretty much how you set up a breeding tub. If you guys got anything that you would advise against or you agree with, let me know down in the comments below, and I will see if I can improve the tubs all. And then for the L1s, I did the same here with a wax worm tub. They're actually my favorite to use simply because you have the ventilation on top, you have the holes at the bottom, so any like substrate that they don't want to eat will be filtered out, and they're just left with stuff that they want to eat. And yeah, so of course one of the L1s will go in here. I do have some more set up off camera, and I've already put the large one in here. So that is pretty much the end of today's video, guys. Let's get some up close footage of these beetle larvae and we'll end today's video.
So that is in today's video. What do you guys think? I'm really happy that the Homoderus Gladiator pairing was a success and I got 7 larvae out of it. Now, you may think 7 larvae is not the most, but considering the fact I didn't even think they laid any eggs at all, it's absolutely fantastic. And I'm probably going to keep all of these guys and raise them up to adults, and may give them breeding a go again, but we shall see. So yeah, really happy with the results, and I hope you guys found how I set up my beetle grubs really useful. Now, of course, I said I use cricket tubs mostly, but following the methods I did for the tub and the little waxworm tubs, follow that, and that's pretty much how I do it on a larger scale for the cricket tubs. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you did, I'd really appreciate if you would click the subscribe button as well as the notification bell down below so you guys don't miss out on future content. I'd also really appreciate if you guys would follow me on Instagram, Jeremy's Wild World _ as well as Jeremy's Wild World.sales. I'm really active on Instagram, posting pictures and videos of the animals and events I keep when I don't upload on YouTube. That's all from me today, guys. Don't forget to leave a like and a comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.